I'm out in the water, come jump right in, 'cause we going farther than we ever been. I'm out in the water, come jump right in, we going farther than we ever been.
Boom. Welcome back. Ocean Waves, episode 54. I'm Ryan, Indigo Ryan the Navigator, member of Oceans on Arrival. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in this week. Pretty late on a Thursday. Probably won't go too long, but definitely some crazy shit happened. A lot of stuff happened this week, I guess. Where should we start? I put on football highlights from week 1, NFL. NFL started. I just finished watching the Dolphins versus the Bills Thursday night game in Tua Tagovailoa. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but he got hit again, and he looked like his body seized up there a little bit, which was like a big thing 2 years ago. So I don't know. Those concussions are racking up. It's hard to say how safe he is to keep playing. One of those things. Football is such a violent sport and it is fun to watch, and I wish that it wasn't touched by money and people could just play, but still entertaining, even though we remember what happened last year with everything. So as far as me, I don't put my emotion into the sport anymore. Not really any. Last year I did with because the Ravens and the Lions. Jason's a Lions fan, so it was the first time we had ever been close to a Ravens Lions Super Bowl. So, but then being at the Ravens game, the first playoff game against Houston, being there, you could tell the stadium was getting the crowd hype. Every time there was a flag, false start or something on Houston, they'd be like, "That was you," to the fans, and everyone. It was like a party almost. And then the next week, AFC Championship game versus Kansas City, and it gets to this point where there's not really there's no what it was the week before to the week after was completely different. They weren't getting the crowd hype. They didn't want the same atmosphere as they had the week before, and it just didn't go the Ravens' way, and they lost. And then to watch the Lions being up by so much at halftime and then losing to San Francisco, that was tough overall. So for football, that was the first year in a long time I had let my emotions get into it. Hockey, the Leafs, I don't put my emotion into it I just wait all year, and then I know they'll make the playoffs. And then when the playoffs come, I jump in, and they last usually about a week and a half, and then that's that for the year. Just because we've seen the story, and one day they'll break through and it'll be lit. Shit, yeah, so football's back. Tyreek Hill got pulled over before the game, week 1. And if you don't know who Tyreek Hill is, he's the wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins. Star player, Super Bowl champion. So if you're a football person, you definitely know him. He got pulled over. And I suggest, if you're going to look it up, looking up, there's a YouTube video. It's WABB or WBAA, something like that, has it. But it's a whole hour and 45 minutes of each police angle, I guess, from their body cam. So I definitely recommend watching that, because then you can kind of gain your own perspective on the situation. What I saw was 2 cops in the beginning on motorcycles sitting, just chilling on the highway, and then start preparing for something. They start gathering whatever, and then about 30 seconds later, Tyreek Hill comes driving by. They say that he's speeding, so they go, but they already look like they were in motion. And then as this car drive by, then they go. So to me, it was like they already knew that this car was coming down the road. They go, they pull up. They say he rolls down his window. They say pull over. He's like, for what? You were speeding. All right, he pulls over. Cop walks up, bangs on his window, like not like a knock, like bangs on it. He's like, yo, don't bang on my window like that. And it's a nice car and whatever. So of course no one wants their windows to be just like banged hard. He's like, don't bang my windows like that. And he was like, the cop responded by saying, well, yeah, I have to let you know that I'm here or whatever. So then he's like, you were speeding, blah, blah, blah. And then Tyreek Hill he's giving off, he's like, basically like, I got places to be, just give me the ticket. And he doesn't really care. He's like, just do what you gotta do. And to be fair, I'm sure the ticket would probably only be like $100 or $300. And for someone who's about to make like $800,000 suiting up or whatever it is to suit up, I'm sure that he can spare a couple hundred here and there. He just wants to get on with his day. But the way he was, he said that, he was always good. And then as the cop's turning around, he rolls his window up. So now the cop's like, he got this added, and he gave the license already. Cop like feels his attitude, and cop is aggressive already. So he, let's see, something happened in this thing. So he turns around and he's like, roll the window down. And Tyreek's like, no, I'm not rolling the window down or whatever. And then he was like, roll the window down right now or get out the car. Or I'm gonna get you out the car. And then it was like, matter of fact, get out the car. And like didn't give him a chance at all. Like, matter of fact, get out the car. And then like as he opens the door, like he doesn't even have really a chance to get out. Like they don't give him, like he just grabs him, throws him on the ground. They get him on the ground, pin him on the ground. As that happens, Jonnu Smith is driving by, and he's like, oh, they got someone oh my God, they got someone on the ground. Oh shit, that's Tyreek, his teammate. And Jonnu Smith, if you don't know who he is a teammate of Tyreek Hill, tight end for the Miami Dolphins. He pulls over, and then as he's walking over, the cop's like, hey, you can't park there. You're blocking traffic. It's an illegal park. Blah, blah. You can't park there. So to leave, told him to leave. Tyreek Hill is now saying, like, don't leave. But after he gets Tyreek Hill gets slammed to the ground, like held to the ground, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, he had an aggressive tone in this of like, just do what you got to do. Like, I'll just take the ticket. Like, basically, like he doesn't care type vibe. And then rolled his window up and that little thing. But he didn't do anything to be getting thrown out. He didn't get a chance to get out the car. Like, actually, normally, like, he didn't even get 5 seconds. It was just like, boom, slam down. They get him up. They walk him over. And then the one cop's trying to put him down on the curb. And then he's like, yo, chill. He's like, he had knee surgery. He's like, I had knee surgery. And then the other cop pulls over, like, puts him in this little chokehold and, like, kind of, like, forces him down. He's like, I had surgery. I need knee surgery. So he gets put on the curb. And then the rest of the time, like, the one cop's just, like grabbing him, like he's going to go somewhere. And then he was like, I'm not going to go anywhere. Like, I'm not going to run. Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, if I was going to run, I would already ran. You wouldn't have been throwing me on the ground. And it's Tyreek Hill. He's a super fast guy. He would have been able to run away if he wanted to. If he was gonna run at the initial start of the pullover or whatever, right? So then they're telling Jonnu Smith, like, get out of here. You can't be here, whatever. And then Tyreek Hill tells him to call the owner. Basically, just call the owner of the team. Like, call the owner. I can't remember what his name is. Like, call the owner. So then they call the owner, and but as that's happening, the one cop who's like kind of being aggressive, like he walks over there, and then over there to where Jonnu Smith is. Car's here. He walks over. He gets the the one cop's telling him to leave. He's like, go, or I'm gonna take your license, give you a ticket. He's like, matter of fact, give me your license. So like, doesn't give him like any time to like really go to leave or do whatever. And he's like, this guy's telling me to go. I'm literally going right now. He's like, you're dealing with me now. Blah blah blah. Ends up taking his license, takes his license, walks back. Another cop asks him like, do you know who that is? He's like, no. He's like, that's a star Dolphins player. He's like, oh, okay. And then at this point in time, Calais Campbell, a third teammate or a third member of the Dolphins, teammate of Tyreek Hill, D-line, I think D-line. He pulls over, and at this point, they're telling him like, "Yo, like, leave, leave, leave. You gotta leave. You can't park there." And they tell him a bunch of times. And this is where I think, if I'm gonna interject my opinion, he should have told the person that was in his car to just go where they were gonna go, just go park, and I'll be good here. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just stay as witness, because the one guy was telling him to go 25 feet, and I think he didn't know that was his car yet. And he's like, "Is that your car? Like, you gotta go." So he could have he could have pulled away anyway. So then the same cop who's now being aggressive grabbed the license from Jonnu Smith. He grabs the license, and then this third, now he's like, he's like, you have 4 seconds to leave, or I'm gonna arrest you. And Calais Campbell like turns around and like takes a step, and he's like, and then he just goes and detains him or whatever. So it's like these weird like passive aggressive movements where it's like, go, not really passive aggressive, but it's like telling you to do something, and then before you even have the chance to do it, being like, oh, you're not doing it. And then, it's like if your parents came in to the room and was like, oh, you need to clean up your room, and then before you even have a chance to get out the bed, they're already like, you're grounded, you lose everything, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, bro, I didn't even have a chance to do it. I didn't even have a chance to act, right? That's how I kind of looked at it. So then they get a hold of the owners, come in or whatever. What ends up happening is he, like, I guess he runs all their names and he writes the report. Calais Campbell gets let go, free to go. His friend had moved, or whoever was in the car had moved the car so the car was fine. He got let go, and as he got let go, like, the owners like showed up at that point. Like, he just got there, and then so I guess then he relayed the information to the owner, what happened or whatever. The owner talks to the cops. There's one cop, like a, I guess, supervisor cop, who Tyreek Hill said what happened. It ends up being where that guy tells him like, all right, he's good to go, he's gonna be free to go. Blah blah. The owner walks up, and then they basically make the cops leave. And at that point, you can't hear much, but I did pick up that he did say, Tyreek Hill's like, I'm not playing today. And then he gets up, he walks over, his family's there now at this point, and they all have a conversation, and then he ends up like shaking the hands of like all the other cops. I'm not sure about the one, but I don't think he shakes hands with the one guy, but he shakes hands with all the other cops, says like he respects what they do and blah blah blah. And he goes on his way, and then Johnny Smith gets his license back, and then he gets a ticket because he had like his tags were expired, so he didn't have registration. So it ends up. So I don't know if Tyreek Hill ended up getting a ticket or if he got or whatever. But so it ended up. But I know that Johnny Smith got a ticket. Calais Campbell got let go. Tyreek Hill was able to leave, and then whatever was in that conversation or whatever, Tyreek Hill ends up playing, and he scores an 80-yard touchdown, and does like a hand, like he puts his hands behind his back, like celebration. And then Jalen Waddle like walks him away, like he was getting arrested or whatever. And I kind of took that as like it was like a shot to like getting pulled over and shit, but then also to like his position where even if like say he really didn't want to play. I don't know, it wasn't part of the conversation, but if he didn't really want to play because of that, and he's like, I don't want to play, but I was like, yo, you gotta play. Like, he was kind of forced, like he was somewhat, he's like, even though he didn't get arrested, he's still like locked up. Like he wasn't free to do what he wanted to do. He had to play whatever. Now, granted, he is getting paid whatever amount of money, and if he didn't play, he would have lost out on like at least 800,000. So I can understand. So it's not like you're dealing with like going to work on an 8-hour shift and making $100 or $200 or 50 or whatever. It's like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I can so it's not too much like, oh, you should play or whatever. Like, I don't, whatever. But no one should have to deal with. There definitely needs to be like a combing of like the bad apples in all facets, like anything. The bad apples definitely ruin the basket, I would say, right? So it's definitely tough. I do think that he was like, he didn't take the steps to diffuse the situation. You know what I mean? Not that he should have to. There shouldn't really even be a situation. The cops should have just been like, oh, whatever, and given him the ticket that he, whatever, and then let him go on his way, you know. But you didn't need to slam him on the ground and whatever. And because he did that, and then also it's not just like you're slamming a human being on the ground. You're slamming like an asset, like the Dolphins' millions and millions of dollar franchise, like has invested all this money into this guy, and the cop just is slamming around their product, so it's like they're bruising their apple, right? And it's so now on the back end, it's like you're not dealing with like some random person, like an ordinary amount of money person or whatever, and amount of influence where the story won't leave the neighborhood or get out the area. You're dealing with this person who is worth a lot of money and is worth a lot to to certain people that need him to play and need him to be part of the Dolphins franchise in order to sell tickets and whatever. And then so now his actions of slamming this guy is now even worse because you got money involved in the situation, as well as morality and protocol, procedure, all the stuff, So I definitely suggest if you're gonna speak about it or whatever, I suggest don't look at the little TMZ clip or whatever 30-second clip that they're gonna put up, or whatever news station you saw the video from that's gonna point it in whatever direction. You should just watch all the different body cam footages and kind of get the thing for yourself. I don't think that he wasn't like, he didn't act in a way that was like super like that warranted getting slammed, but he didn't act in a way that would avoid like be like atrocious. Like, it is atrocious that it happened, but like where you would have a big case for him, like he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he just said, all right, like gave his license, left the window down for a second. But I can understand he's a famous guy. It's right around the stadium. Fans are gonna drive by. He doesn't want that publicity, so I can see why he'd want his window rolled back up, But he was just kind of like direct about it. Like, in some ways, I don't know. It's hard to speak on because I'm not a black person in America who gets pulled over for whatever. Like, you don't know. Like, there's obviously a stigma there. There's obviously this thing that's been happening in the country for a long time. So, and now I'm not saying that, man, me aware is like, I'm not ignorant to the fact that doesn't mean that you fly in free color in like a free pass just because you're not. Everyone has a thing that you can get thrown into that might get they might have bad things that come with it, right? But this situation for him, he's by the stadium. It is weird to know, like, of course there are like one or two cops that don't know him, but to think that like everyone knows me, that's kind of like an ignorant way to think too, because you it's like because you have this status or this star power, you feel like you can just like you have more more sh- uh more string on the line of the tension line. You have more room to work with. And which he did because the owner came and whatever, and he didn't end up going to jail or whatever. And there was a point in the video where the cop was like, "There's like, you know what that is?" And like Tyreek Hill, he has a game today. He's like, not today. So his intention was to, I guess, take him to jail for reckless driving and speeding or whatever. And I don't know, but then the owner came and whatever. So he does have more, but he, in some ways, people are gonna argue. I've seen the arguments. This is what the best way to say it because I mean people can clip this now in any way, and I'm not gonna go and trim myself, but uh, I saw other people, their perspective, what they're saying, and it was athletes too, was saying that he didn't act the right way, and I guess they were saying like when he should have been like, they go, "Oh, I'm pulling you over for speeding." Like, "Okay, officer, like here's my license," and then been like, "I'm a receiver for the Dolphins. I was just heading to the game, a little late," type vibe. You can write me a ticket or whatever. It's fine. And then once he walked away, then rolled the window up, not like kind of like say what you have to say as you're rolling the window up, type vibe. So I think that's their argument, and then their argument is like, "Oh, since you're a black man in America, like this is not what you should teach the younger people to do. You should teach them to be like respectful to the police anyway, and blah blah blah, and put yourself in the best position not to be slammed on the ground and whatever. And if you are, then it's like a riot in the streets, you know." So that's some people's perspective. So the only thing I can say that he did, and he wasn't like calm in. Of course not. He just got slammed on the ground. He got slammed on the ground. He's getting held. He's getting his shoulder grabbed. He's got knee surgery now. His shit's fucked up. If he did get hurt more or like bring back whatever old injury, it's like, oh my god, everything I just worked for or everything I just went through, blah blah blah, to get back to this healthiness. Now it's all because I got slammed on the concrete. You know, it's the first game of the season. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I understand why when he was on the curb and he wasn't in a comfortable position, just stuck in handcuffs over speeding, didn't do nothing wrong really. You know, besides not be respectful to the police. He was just kind of like, when it was like, "Fuck it, give me the ticket. Just go give me the ticket. I got places to be." That's kind of how the energy I perceived from it. And then the cop didn't like that, and he was already aggressive with the bang on the window and whatever. So, you know, and it was pretty coordinated in some way because the cops had either gotten word that he's driving recklessly before, or they just decided that they're going to pull over Tyreek Hill today because he speeds normally. He speeds on the way to work, you know? Some shit like so. That's the two perspectives. Or he's driving recklessly a mile down the road, and they get him, they pull him over, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not sure if it happened, if he got pulled, the next time he gets pulled over, what his reaction would be. You know, I think they're just calling for, I think they're just calling for the one guy, like the aggressive guy, to be fired. Like they want him to be fired. And he got put on leave and whatever. And I think because it's not just a local person, it's a person who is known in different countries, you know, it's like that attention's going to be there. So it's so unfortunate for the cop. He picked the wrong person to do this. Not unfortunate because he has no business being like super aggressive, slamming people, fucking forcing to the ground by their neck when they're not being aggressive. People who like are just trying to help or not giving them any chance to, you know, giving someone something a command and then expecting them to do it like the moment it leaves your mouth, instead of like, some people are slower than others. Some people receive information, like if whatever they're saying, they process, okay, he's telling me to leave, I have to go, I should go right now, boom boom, before they even get through that thought, they're getting put in cuffs, slammed, whatever, you know. So I mean, bunch of shit happened in this country over that type of stuff. It's been happening for a long time, you know. I don't think that defunding police is the way, because there has to be you need people that when something goes wrong, that like in some way, they are here to protect and serve, right? Serve and protect. So that's what they should be doing. They should be protecting and whatever. But then there's money involved. There's different agendas, whatever. And there's going to be bad apples. And there's going to be people who put the bad apples there on purpose. And there's going to be people who, grow a tree full of bad apples, because that's what, So we need to there needs to be a system that is to comb them out. And whether it's, and I don't know what, maybe surveys in some way, like, oh, he was nice to me, he was a douche to me, whatever. And then you don't take one person, you kind of, over time, you can just collect data on them. I don't know, but there's got to be a way to comb these people out, so stuff like this doesn't happen. I mean, in one accident, Tyreek Hill, he doesn't have to be nice and genuine to the guy. If he's probably like, oh my God, I just got pulled over, like, a mile away from work. Like, bro, what do they want? Like, then he comes banging on your window, like, and like, oh my God, like, just trying to just get through it, like, whatever, just give me the ticket and go. So, I don't know. That's crazy. And then to go and score an 80-yard touchdown, that's fucking nuts. So, I don't know, man. What else happened? The fucking debate happened. Presidential debate for 2024 between Kamala and Donald Trump. Kamala Harris. Someone at work told me that Trump doesn't want to do another one. I don't know if that's true. I didn't look into it. But I can see why he wouldn't in some ways, because it's tough. Because he's definitely, I think in some of the comments he made, you can tell his age a little bit. Like, he didn't need to, like, put some of those comments in there. The Kamala thing felt like same old tactics, like mixing, like, heartfelt sentiment, in any moment possible, like trying to just say something negative, or just trying to, like, destroy Donald, like, he did this, he did that, he's this, he's that, he's a bad guy. Don't look at me, he's a bad guy. Look at him, see how bad he is, pick me, but don't look at me, kind of thing. And then I guess people were saying, like, the first thing right after, like, that I saw in the news, and I turned the channel up, they were like, oh, Secretary Taggart trying to get under his skin. And I can see that maybe, like, he doesn't want to do this, like, bullshit mirrors, like, put lies out, like, trying to battle a lie that on the spot and blah blah blah, whether it's true or not, like, different things. But there's definitely lies that get thrown in there, and then, so I can see why he wouldn't want to go again, because she's saying things to trigger him and this and that, and to kind of get him off his track of what he wants to do. And I'm not, like, I've never met Donald Trump. I don't know. I never had a conversation with him. But if we look at the 3 years that these elections have happened, the first time he came with a strategy, and it worked. It won, blah blah blah. Then the second time, COVID happened, and it changed the whole game by adding the mail-in ballots, blah blah blah. And then he got more votes the second time, but lost, and claimed that he didn't lose. And some people are going to say that, the one side is going to be that, oh, he's, like, so loser guy. It's always going to, like, when you're younger and it's like you lose and you're like, oh, you cheated, blah blah blah. That, like, there's no way you beat me, you had to have cheated to beat me, type thing. And then, or he's just telling the truth, and it's so crazy that people just don't believe it because of what the world is, that, and everything it is. And he's just literally telling you the truth, like, they whatever. And then now we're here. So this third time around, I think he has a different approach. He's whatever. He still I don't know him. I think RFK. If you listen to my listen to Ocean Waves before, listen to the podcast before, you know that I was a supporter of RFK. He endorsed Trump. I'm not gonna. I don't. I'm just saying that I feel like he did that to. One, because he knows that he has a chance. If Kamala Harris is the president for 8 years, then there's no way he's gonna be able to mentally do the presidency after that, because he is on the older side. He is on the back end of his life. If Trump wins, he can do it in 4 years. And not only that, is that there's not only one side, there's two sides. There's two open sides versus just one open side. And if you had to fight Kamala in 2028, then it's only one open side and you have to be the Republican, versus like having two open, like more space, more room, right? So, but one thing I found interesting was that well, she always kind of came with like, I'm from the middle class, and the class, like really just sticking to the classic, just like the points that, or like the perceptions that she wanted to throw out there, and when I watched it, I was like, I was looking, I was like, it's tough because Trump's saying some things, she's saying some things. There's this thing you can tell she has this agenda type, and she's really good at it. She was more prepared than I thought. I thought that Trump would walk her and she would be flustered, but it kind of felt like the other way around. And I think because he was frustrated about other things, and it kind of all swooped in. But as far as what people are, and I only watch it to see what people are what people are consuming, just so that when the conversation happens, I know what was going on, and I have my own whatever, and I can judge the information based off whatever, right? So that's why I watched it. So it's definitely, she did well, I think. I don't really believe anything she says, honestly. The past 4 years seemed to be not so great as far as the pathway for unity and peace and love and harmony. This doesn't seem like they're going in that direction at all. Another 8 years might be detrimental to the global population, So, I don't know. It does feel like that side, whatever they give you that you'll eat, feels like, and that's just how, when I look at my mom, kind of that's how my mom, it feels like that's what my mom does. It feels like she did whatever the Democratic Party gives her, she'll just eat that, which I don't think. And a lot of it, to me, it's like, I don't really trust a person who's like always talking shit about someone else. Like, if you're always talking shit about someone else, like, why are you putting the attention to other people and why are you not talking about yourself at all? Why is it always about how this other person is so bad, And it's like, and like I said, I don't know him. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote against him, but I didn't vote for him, And the voting thing is a whole nother subject, But it's definitely interesting overall. It's definitely tough to watch. Really tough to watch, honestly. It's unfortunate. I do wish RFK had a better chance. They stunted his chances, so maybe he'll learn from it and be able to follow through and get through in 4 years, right? But everyone has the right to decide what they feel. Some of my regulars, we had a passionate conversation last week about voting and whatever, and her perspective is that you should vote and that I should vote, and that if we don't, we're giving up, and that might be the most important election in history, and that's her opinion and whatever. And and it seems like she's on the side that Trump needs to get as many votes as possible so that he doesn't get robbed of it again, or we can't. I think she feels that we just can't go down this Kamala Harris path, and I feel that, and I'm sure other people feel on the other side that are the Democrat. They feel that I'm a Democrat. Do feel like, oh, there's no way we can go through this Trump thing again, But it kind of felt like the Trump presidency was all media, like social. It was like the first like social media presidency, where it was like all like he would put things on Twitter, and there'd be all this, and like all these agendas and all these things would all circulate through social media and then through the news, and then you put this perception on people. And he's probably done things that are wrong, and he's probably done good things, and this, and that. But if we're really going to look at these two people, I don't stand for anything that Kamala Harris stands for. It doesn't feel like she has the best interest of people, her people, our people, anyone, the globe, During the debate, there was a point where she was trashing Donald Trump for his tariffs on other countries. That seemed, and then his response was, okay, well, if you didn't like, if the tariffs are so bad, how come they're the exact same from 4 years ago? And then the moderator's like, oh, that's a good point. How come, Kamala? And then she deflected it by just saying that Trump's an asshole, blah, 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 blah. Down that, she used that thing and then never circled back to it, and then it kept going because they were short for time. They had to get through these subjects, all these different questions. So it's just like classic diversion, deflecting. And I think what I said earlier is what I think I finally got my thing. Is like, if you're always talking shit about someone else, why is that? And what is it about you that you don't want the attention to be on you about? You want to have attention, but not on you. You want to influence the attention. That's how I kind of felt. And then since her running opposition is Trump, and there's no third chance for otherwise, RFK all the way. I think he's the best option for the country. I think he cares the most about the people, and as far as the pathway to love and unity and harmony and having a peaceful earth, he was the best direction, I felt. But now he's no longer in the race, and he got sabotaged in some ways, and it's not fair system, honestly. So it is tough. But I say all this to say that after the debate, it comes out the next day, I guess, and I don't know the validity and whatever, but I saw, like, of course it comes on my feed or whatever, but I guess someone had noticed her earrings, Kamala Harris' earrings, during the debate, and then put like a side by side of these earrings that you can buy or whatever that have, like, I guess like they're like headphones, or like so basically audio can transmit from the earring and it's right there at the earlobe, and you can get a little hint or whatever. So, and I was like, and for the debate, they weren't allowed to have notes or anything, right? So I was like, I personally feel that's kind of true, that it might be true, because when I was watching, I was like, damn, she's very on her bullet points, right? She was great at throwing bait out there. She was great at deflecting, diversion, and then bring it back to whatever other point she wanted. And that's why I was like kind of I was like, damn, she in some ways she did good, Not that it's good at all, but she did well for what she was trying to do, and what her team's goal of the debate was, right? But now if she had the little earpiece, it makes sense why she might have felt so on it type vibe. And then also, which also might be like for him, makes sense on Trump's side is like, why am I gonna do this if I'm gonna be put at a disadvantage? And then all that happens is they just say whatever, mixing the truth with the lies and blah blah blah, and then you have to try to, it's just not. It's not a level playing ground, and he probably feels like he doesn't need to say that to she doesn't he doesn't need to go out and bash her like on a stage, like in whatever, especially with no audience and in this like studio room with whatever news broadcast. So that was definitely crazy. That's definitely what, September, October, November, so 2 months away from the election. It's a big election. It's tough, man. Tough situation, really. Hard to watch. Hard to, you know. But yeah. So I respected her opinion, though. My regular about vote. She feels that everyone should vote, and it's super important. And if we don't vote, we're giving up. And I respect the opinion. I respect her passion for it. I'm still on the fence on the side of the fence of that we don't truly. It's not as real as it seems, and I don't find the system fair or feel like it should be between two people, and you shouldn't be forced to pick a side between two sides. Like, there's always a third side, and I don't think that you should be forced into being red or blue. What about purple? What about in between red and blue? The mix. Some of the blue is good, some of the red's good. How do we get in between them? What does that make? Purple. So where's the purple side? And that's where I truly feel. So it's hard to, so, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. We'll have more conversations. We'll see how things unfold, different things. Doesn't surprise me that if she did have fucking earrings. Doesn't surprise me at all. So, but, and the last time too, during the election, there was a lot of like YouTube red flagging people and whatever. So it's definitely like, I feel like I'm trying to be cautious too, because I don't want to, as it gets closer, you don't want like a clip to go boom, and then and they're different things. You don't want to be thrown into the bad side or whatever. And I don't know about this because there's no COVID. COVID, I guess still exists, and the ramifications still exist from what happened, but there's no global disease like happening, stopping the world right now, supposedly, so I don't know how, whatever, and Twitter's a different place now, and, a different space, and Instagram and Facebook are connected, so I don't know how safe you are to say what you be super honest about the election as it gets closer. So, but I think I did a good. Oh, I forgot to move that poster over. Oh well. It's gonna be off on the camera angle. I can already tell. But it's alright. So who knows? Should be interesting. Yeah, man. Definitely, I think touchy subject along all, like, everyone's gonna have their opinion and their whatever, and politics is one of those conversations that can really divide a room, and that's unfortunate. And it makes sense why it's so like that, because they want division. They don't want unity. They want people arguing, not finding solutions. Not listening to each other. And that's what they want. Kendrick Lamar, segue, is the Super Bowl halftime show for this year's Super Bowl in New Orleans. That seemed to got negative ramifications in some way too, because people felt like it should have been Lil Wayne, including Nicki Minaj and different people saying that whatever. I personally I can understand why New Orleans, Louisiana, they want Lil Wayne there or whatever. You know, and then you're gonna have the other people who are saying, "Oh, he's only there because Drake." The battle with Drake and Drake put him there because Drake's so popular. But it's like, yeah. I mean, Kendrick started the battle. I mean, I don't know who started it all the way, but he reignited it with like that, and Future and and Metro Boomin started the rap battle or the rap beef of the year earlier this year. But I like it. I think that it's probably gonna be. I'm interested to see what Kendrick's gonna do. Last time he was there, he did it with Dre, and it was Dre, Eminem, 50, Snoop, Mary J. Blige. So, but it'll be so his own show. I'm curious to see what message he'll display on such a big stage, and I think it could be monumental for the world and for people, and so we'll kind of see how that goes. That'd be cool. Um, I like it. I can see why people might be a little mad, think that Lil Wayne should be the guy, but I mean, I like it. I support Kendrick, and I'm excited to see that at the end of this year, or football season. But that's a while away. A lot of stuff from here to there. A lot of stuff in between. Um, what else, dude? What else? No comments. I don't think. Not that I saw. That's all right though. Um, feel free to comment anything you like. Or I think the running thing was, what do you look forward to most each day? Shit, dude. I think now, me personally, I think what I look forward to most is the unknown, like the unknowns of each day. Like, what is the shit that you don't expect to happen that day, or what is the whatever, like, you know, if you know, like, if you know, like, oh, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna come home, watch a movie, and I'm gonna go to bed. And then you wake up, you go to work, normal day, normal drive, go to work, normal day at work, nothing crazy happens, blah, blah, blah. That's a super mundane life in that way, and not exciting to have it all planned out and to know exactly what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and then you're just, but having those things where it's like, boom, like you get a text out of nowhere and like, oh, let's go here, and somewhere you didn't think you're going to go, you go there that day, or you see someone you haven't seen in a long time and they come in, or you talk to someone, or some news happens, like the Kendrick thing, like news that breaks out, like it might excite you. Those, I think that's what I look forward to most every day. Just the things that are unexpected, the possibilities that can occur in each day, what could happen, what could, and then on the other side is just to have another day and just being able to enjoy it and learn from the things I need to learn from, and try to avoid getting brought down to lower frequencies and lower energies. Try to speak up for things that I want. Manifest the things that I want. Keep myself accountable. If I ever like, oh, why isn't this like whatever? Look at like, hey, what am I not doing? Make sure I, what is it? Cross your T's, dot your I's. Those things. Make sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, including this. Part of me did not want to do a pod tonight because I was like, I gotta get up. I'm gonna be. Not. I mean, I don't mind doing it alone. But I think overall it's a little better when there's another person because we can feed off the energy, and I'm not pulling up all the thoughts myself. I do think it is good to sit and just speak out loud, as well, though. So, I don't think that is not as entertaining, or I don't think that is not as valuable. I just feel like I personally enjoy having a conversation with other people. I enjoy conversations myself too, but so yeah. So knowing that it's gonna just be me, I was like, do I just do it when it's not late? Let me just, whatever. It's already past Wednesday. And I was like, no, I don't want to go to Friday, and then it goes to Saturday, and now we missed it. Like, no, we're going to do it. It's going to come out Friday, even if it comes out on a Friday. Fuck it. It came out that week, you know? And, yeah, and I hope, and the goal is to get back to Wednesdays at noon. That should be the goal. If it's not happening, and people like, if someone comments like, "Hey man, when are you gonna put it out Wednesday at noon?" Then maybe I'll be more like, "All right, I really got to do it." But I think that's just the long-term goal. Like, that's just what's to expect in as time goes on, and as the platform grows, and more people come in, and we get a better studio, and the stages keep going, next stage, when it's time, you know. I think that's when it really will be then, and it'll come out every Wednesday at noon. There will be at least one, maybe extras during the week, you know. So, but for now, this is very much a solo mission, you know. I just do it when the energy aligns, really. When I feel like I don't want to force it. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm just doing it just to do it. Like, I want to make sure that there is some reason behind each episode and each, topic or whatever. I had a dream. I think it's episode 50 when I was talking about this. I had a dream that I was talking to someone like with significance. I don't know who it was, or just they had influence, or they had ability to do things. And I was talking to them about Six Flags and like my ideas and that passion that I had for like making it a super dope park and making a place for people to have a great experience and not getting shortchanged, not getting ripped off, having a place where people want to go, come back, bring their families, ride rides, have other experiences, bring in local people maybe for food, different things, and stuff like that. I really feel like that we can make it happen. So I woke up, I was like, that's dope, because I've been having a lot of vivid dreams. I think we talked about it last time, Jason and I. So to wake up from one like that, I was like, that's nice, man. I hope that happens. I hope that. So if you support my opinion on Six Flags and how we can make it a more exciting place, a better experience for the family, giving people what their money's worth, creating a place that people want to go back, creating a place that breeds great memories, then please go to my Instagram, REYEN.OOA. You'll find my reel there, and I added Six Flags. Like I said, hear me out, Six Flags over Georgia. So if you like that, please go to my Instagram, tag, repost it, type vibe, and tag Six Flags over Georgia, because I think that's the way to do it. Like, get attention to them to hear that video, and hopefully someone's like hears through like me talking shit, because there's like, I'm like, Six Flags pisses me off and I'm being blunt, but hopefully people see through that and like, yo, and we can make something happen, man. That's a manifestational thought right there. So if you see this and you want to help in some way, that's a way to help me, I feel like. Let's see, what else did I have for today? We had the Six Flags dream. We talked about Tua. We talked about Tyreek Hill. We talked about the debate. I feel like something else happened. I don't know. The movie scene just doesn't feel good, dude. Doesn't feel like they're making any good movies, bro. They're making these remakes. I'm not hearing great stuff about them. And now there's going to be, and I'm not going to Rotten Tomatoes type vibe to it, but just literally all based off human human people that I know, human beings that go watch, have seen the movie or whatever. That's the opinions I really take. The viewer's opinion to see what they felt. It just doesn't feel like we've had a really captivating movie in a while. And it felt like there used to be like 2 or 3 a year. So that's one of my thoughts. I hope that it reverses back, dude, because cinema is definitely taking some sort of toll. Maybe that's some space in there for me to enter to reverse this tragedy that's occurring. And I'm sure there's great people working, and I'm sure there's people that don't have great things have great things that don't get heard or put to the next levels of development. you know. Um, but I'm hoping that in the near future that the people demand a better quality. We don't big up these trash movies or let the media pretend like they're like, oh, this movie was great, and everyone's like, no, dude, this movie was trash, blah blah blah. And you had enough people trashing it, then it's like, and enough times like where it's like we can point out the movies that they're trying to pretend are good. I don't know. I feel like it just needs to. I think all across the board, just more accountability. Comb out the bullshitters. Comb out uh the viruses. The leeches. Comb them out, and that way, because not all these systems and all these structures that we have need to be destroyed. There's some great things that have happened and been built over time, but the power of money and the control and the lust for power and money and control, those things seep into all these, to businesses, to ideas, to products, to procedure, to laws, to media, all these things. And it really, whoever is the highest bidder can influence the perception. And if you influence the perception, then you change the minds of people. And if you change the minds of people, you can direct them into ways you want to direct them. And eventually you have this working society that's now divided over ideas and being put against each other, and being set up for this clash. So I hope in some ways that maybe this election will open more eyes, and I hope that people as a whole come together and demand better products and better quality, and stop consuming the spoon-fed information, the spoon-fed products, and the spoon-fed quality, the spoon-fed entertainment. I feel like we need we always need it, and we always do need it, and we'll always will. But we need more real things, more real people, more real art, real ideas, and not to make the most money possible, and to put these group of people down, to bring these group of people, but for humanity as a whole to coexist, thrive, create a place of heaven and harmony on the earth. So we just hope. We need more people, man. We need more people. We need more connection. The real people need to connect more. People need to tell their friends about people that are dope. And it's tough because they always have these things where they'll take words that mean things, and then they'll twist them in social media or whatever, like real, like being real. Like now anyone's gonna say like, yo, I'm real. And then like woke became a thing. We're like, oh, you're woke, whatever. But we're like throwing like the third eye. We're throwing away consciousness. We're throwing away that energy. We're throwing that idea away, and we're layering this coat over it. We're like, oh, woke people. And then you have the stigma of woke people. And then you have this bad group of basket of apples that come and take the stigma and run down this path, and then you create a perception or whatever. So we got woke. What was the one I saw the other day? It's been going to like aura. They're like, oh, they have a girl to, like, they're like, this isn't the definition of aura. What is? Like 3 football players or whatever. And it's like, all right, yeah. But why are we using the word? Like, they're trying to meme this word that is very powerful, and then people have this perception or this comedic thought about this thing versus like trying to understand their own aura and what even is an aura and what do they give off and things like that. And then by the time that thought of aura leaves your brain, you have been given this like comedic relief of it, and now every time you hear you're gonna think of like this meme version of it versus like the true meaning behind it. I feel like, and they do it with a whole bunch of stuff. They'll take words and they'll change the meaning, and in some ways, or they'll put it where, like Karen, like the name Karen got memed out so hard because of the amount of, I guess, Karens that had that stigma or whatever. And I guess that was, maybe it's true though, but I don't know. But that so much. So now it's like, how many people are naming their kid Karen now versus before? Like, if someone's name is Karen, does someone's first initial out like, oh, they're a, entitled white person or whatever, white lady, who's just being a bitch or whatever. So it makes sense why. So then you got this. So now these words, these stigmas come on these words. That's hilarious. These stigmas wrap around these words. They get influenced in certain ways, and then the meme culture and whatever, which is why, I think like in 2016 was the first like election that was it was like the first social media election, and then 2020 COVID happened, so you had the COVID election, and now we're at this 2024 one, and took a big concoction of both, and oh man, it's tough. We'll see how it all unfolds. Football thing, I'm gonna enjoy watching it. Still think won't put my emotion in it, see if we can find the patterns, make some money on it maybe, but don't bet too much because you never know. They can always throw that flag, my guy. So even if you had it right, even if you picked the best team, doesn't mean they're going to win. So I don't know. I feel like I had something else. Dreams, Six Flags. Nope. I don't know. I feel like for me, I'm at the point now where I've run out of I'm almost out of content, like different pods I want to watch or things like that. So I think it's and I think the reason for it is because now I'm supposed to spend more time creating creating. And so I'm spending all my time consuming, then not all my time, but the more time I spend consuming, the less time you have to create. So I think for me, I'm running out of things to consume that, that bring me joy or whatever, that help waste time, I guess, or it's like I'm using this time to do this, which brings more time to do a pod or to make more music, which I've been making some music, I got some movie ideas, write down some short film, little comedic things I kind of want to do, so maybe I'll write them out and see if we can get those ideas going. But yeah, man, I think for me, it's been about shaking off negative energy, trying to reach my maximum potential of each day, keep growing, keep getting better, learning, trying, doing, and finding a nice balance where I'm balanced creatively, mentally, spiritually, physically, environmentally, relationship wise, to people around, just trying to get a nice balance and avoid being dragged in negative situations, negative emotions, trying to stay on a higher path, higher road, try to bring people to where I'm at versus going down, to a lower level, and not meant whatever, just frequency wise, just levels that I've already beaten. No, I don't need to go back and have to, because some of them take a while to beat, go back and try to do it again, but try to help people come up to where I am. And, not be hard on myself, be proud, enjoy each day, happy to be here, happy to do this. Thank you for anyone who's watches, likes, subscribes, fucking shares with other people, just enjoys for themselves, watches enough to get inspired and moves on to whatever they're supposed to do, whatever it is. I appreciate anyone who's watching, anyone who supports us, anyone who is here to help bring or show the light of the path of harmony and unity and peace. I appreciate anyone who's doing anything for humanity as a whole. I hope that during this election time you can find the truths in the situations, remove influence of the lies. I hope that it works out. I hope it works out, man. I hope that, obviously, and I hope that more people come to the realization of who they are and what they're here to do and what their purpose is, and together we can create a better environment, better place, a heaven on earth, right? But yeah, I think that's what I got for today. A lot of stuff coming in the near future. Just doing a lot of building, planning, growing, balancing, and we got a lot coming soon. So much more from us. Honestly, also, if you got to this point, any merch ideas, any merch that you want to see, or a piece of Ocean on Arrival material that you might want or visualize yourself wearing and haven't been able to buy that thing yet or receive that thing yet, feel free to comment or reach out and give your opinions on that too, because I've been thinking about need some new merch, or we're gonna need a new wave. So yeah, man. Ocean's on Arrival, all streaming platforms for the music, for anything. If you want to go check out our old music, the music that released this year, yeah, man, go ahead, give us a follow on there. Tell your friends if you like it, and even if you don't, tell your friends, they might like it. And if you're here, I really appreciate you for watching. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep getting better. I definitely want to. I love the ones where there's a lot of jokes and laughter. So hopefully we bring some laughter pods, some laughter episodes in the near future. I hope that comes soon too. So, but either way, appreciate you for watching. Ocean's on Arrival again, all streaming platforms, and we'll see you next time. For now, I hope you all have enjoy your weekend. Find some time for yourself, or to do something that you love, or find an hour to have a serene, peaceful time, a time to get away. Even if you can't leave your house or whatever, try to leave. If you're in a negative space, try to leave that space and go to a new space. If you're in a positive space, try to find a way to grow this space even farther. So thank you very much. I'm Ryan the Navigator. Ocean's on Arrival. Ocean Waves, episode 54. We appreciate you for watching. Peace.